Thank you. What a beautiful, beautiful speech. I need a copy of that to put it on my wall. First of all, I'm honored, and I would like to thank my family and coworkers that have came far and wide. I kind of want to put that out there. My pastor, I don't want to start naming a bunch of names because I don't want to miss anybody, but okay, I'll name my grandkids because as a grandmother, they're more important than your kids. Anybody that's grandparents, you know, they come first. So, hey, my grandkids, y'all get the shout out today. So I really thank everybody for coming. So we're just gonna dive right in. What I want to talk about is how I went from calling the place, going to make the donuts, to actually it being a mission in the marketplace. That's what I used to title my job. I'm going to make the donuts. And while I'm there, I'm going to make different flavors. I'm going to put sprinkles on for some. I may do a little filling for others. But I'm going to just make the donuts, and then I'm going to walk out and go home. And I run 423 units, and it has three phases. You know, I have HUD, I have Section 8, and I have market. And on the Section 8 part, the lease, it says project, and I don't quite like that word. I don't like the leasing. I would like other words. So HUD, if you're listening in Chicago or Washington, D.C., this is a marketing ad. If you would like to invite me to the round table, I will be glad to help you to rewrite the lease. Thank you. Just a little plug-in, just a small little plug-in. Not that I'm leaving anytime soon, but just a small little plug-in. The people that I encounter at my property are usually broken, and they're also bleeding on other people that have not cut them. They have come from broken homes, they have come from broken situations, and usually when they come to me, they're angry, they're upset, they're bitter, and I'm their target. And they want to bleed on me. And I'm like, how am I gonna give you a donut? Are you gonna have one or two sprinkles? So it had become difficult. They were resisting. Stuff was resisting. People were resisting. And all I wanted to do was come in and change the place and take it and make it look beautiful just because we're Section 8, low income and all that. But I wanted us to be able to look like we sit in caramel. Why did I pick the word caramel? Because I like chocolates, I like sweet. Nothing against Plainfield, nothing against Avon, nothing against Brownsburg, nothing against those other ones. I had in my notes, if they don't laugh, go to the next punchline. I got a few little laughs, but you know, just few. But I put that in my notes just in case you guys didn't laugh about what I was saying. But it worked. It seemed like the whole crowd kind of helped me with my nerves a little bit. So that's the way I wanted to look. So I kept pushing forward because I wanted people to say, this was a nice property, even though my people were bleeding on the inside. The people that I were dealing with, the applicants, they began to bleed. So I really didn't kind of know what they were going through. I'm like, come on, just follow along. Well, then guess what? In 2015, 16, 17, I began to bleed myself. I began to go through some personal trauma at home. And then I had to ask God, why me? So I began to bleed on my staff. I began to bleed on the residents. So I actually began to know what they felt like bleeding on people that have not done anything to you. But how do I take my faith? How do I take Jesus to people that were already bleeding, that didn't want to hear what I had to say, that didn't want to move forward, that did not want to take the opportunity of this fine community and call it home and transition to you ready to buy your ending home? So with me doing that, I began to ask God why. So I had made a decision in 2017, around 2016, 17, going into 18. I was actually tired of bleeding, of just going to make the donuts. I had no idea Eric was going to eventually write a book about what I was going through, about taking Jesus to the marketplace. But I had actually got tired of bleeding, tired of just going to work, making the donuts. So I consciously made a decision and I said, you know what, Lord, me and you need to have a conversation. I got up at 5 o'clock in the morning, April, I'll never forget. I said, I'm gonna go outside in my neighborhood I was living in Fishers at the time. So anybody that's watching me, eventually, I'm sorry for hollering and screaming through the neighborhood, but I was going through stuff. But I'm better now. So I decided that I was going to detox my mind and my body. So I began to walk, scream, holler. I was frustrated with the Lord. But every day I made a conscious decision that I was going to get up and meet him at 5 o'clock every single day before I go to work, because I was tired of just making donuts. And as every day I got up, the cry got less, the moan. I actually began to smile. I actually began to feel better about myself. The bleeding that I was doing, he actually put some Band-Aids on it, some Neosporin. He actually began to heal me on the inside. So therefore, I got an epiphany. I said, so this is what's wrong with my residents. Some of them really just don't get to see or don't get introduced to the love of Christ. They didn't get to know who was the lover of my life, my first love. Even though the Bible said I'm the salt of the earth, I was still hurting. So only thing I could do was just make donuts. I did not know that I actually had a mission and a purpose every day that I went to work. And when I began to realize that, it became clear. I want to make sure I don't go over my time. It became very clear what I needed to do. Even though sometimes it gets hard, I have to make conscious decisions, hard decisions. I have to go to court. Matter of fact, I went to court yesterday, side note, and as I was going in, a gentleman, they call me Miss Konica, I don't tell them to. Miss Konica, I don't want to be evicted. I said, you pay your rent, you won't be. I want you to have a home. He said, I dropped some money in the mailbox. I said, well, let me make a phone call. So I called, I said, Tia, I said, hold on. I said, Rachel, he going back home today. Let the young man go on back. But I appreciate him enough. Even though we had to make a harsh decision, we were in court, he trusted me enough to talk to me, to say, hey, I still want to stay. So that was just my little side note. You know, sometimes I veer away from these notes every now and then. So one of the scriptures I'm going to read too that really just kind of helped me push my purpose in the marketplace. Most of you guys don't know this about me. Some of them do. I'm very much of a crybaby. Eric said some things. I can be tough. I can be strong. My aunt who's here, if you ever watched The Lion King, she said, I'm Simba, not Mufasa, because I'll be somewhere crying real quick, and most people don't know. So these scriptures really touched me, and it helped me transform my life. It helped me decide that between me and the Lord, made a conscious decision that I had a purpose in the marketplace. At that time, I didn't know what it was called, but then when Eric wrote this book, but I knew I had a purpose. I knew I had a mission at Cloverleaf. I knew I had stopped bleeding, so now I can really go in and help some people. I couldn't help them all, but I could actually go into work and help my staff and help the residents and any vendors, anybody that come in contact with me. I can actually help them because now I have a purpose when I go to work. And one of the scriptures that was John 15:16. You have not chosen me, but I have chosen you. Oh my goodness. That within itself was an eye-opener. Jesus didn't choose me. I didn't choose Jesus. Matter of fact, he chose me. He chose little bitty old me to take on this assignment. God, you chose me. You put this in my lap. And I began to be honored and ordained you that you should go forth and bring fruit, and that your fruit shall remain, and that whatsoever you say, ask of the Father in my name, he may give it to you. So on days when I think my Band-Aid has come off because he's chosen me, I could say, God, I need some strength. God, I need you a little bit more today in this. God, I gotta go. I gotta get up, but I need you a little bit more today when I go to work. I gotta tell a difficult family something. Something else happened on my property. I gotta make a difficult decision. But because you've chosen me and you've ordained me, that means you're gonna walk with me. So another one of my favorite ones that really set the cake for me, that really actually put the topping on it, on the cake. And it's Jude 1, 24 through 25. Now unto him that is able to keep you from falling and to present you faultless. I said, God, if you found me faultless, you have found all these people that I have to go service every single day, faultless. If you found me, little bitty old me, faultless, that means you have done it for them. Even the ones that I have to tell, you can't live here anymore because you've done something. It used to hurt me, but then I'm able to tell them, once you get yourself together, come back and see me. Once you make better decisions, come back and see me, because I'll still be here waiting on you to make better decisions. Even the ones that didn't pay their rent, and I got to tell them, you got to get out. Your time is up here. But go make better decisions, because guess what? He found me faultless when I made some mistakes. So he find you faultless when you just made some errors. You need to grow up a little bit. You need some more encouragement. You need to take some classes. But I'm able to say that and still be okay, because I know he found me faultless before the presence of his glory with exceeding joy. To the only wise God, our Savior, be glory and magnified, dominion and power, both now and forever. So when I say now and forever, I said, God, that means you're going to find me faultless forever. You chose me forever. So now, I'm not going to make the donuts. I'm actually going in there because I have a mission in the marketplace. I have a purpose to go in there. When I wake up and I open my eyes, God, you chose me again. You made me faultless again. So here I go. I have another opportunity to do my purpose in the marketplace. I get to walk in there with my head up high, with my shoulders back. Once again, I have been found faultless. You've chosen me to go in here and to run this property. I'm able to do it because you stopped the bleeding. You stopped the bleeding. I understand what they're going through. I can relate. I may not get to tell each and every one of them my story, but I can relate. I can relate to the young lady whose son killed her other son on my property. I can relate. I was able to hug on her. I was able to pray for her. Matter of fact, me and my co-workers, we fed their family. Some family came in after the funeral and they did a marvelous job. We fed them. I'm able to pray for the family of the 9-year-old boy the other day. Was in a house all day and didn't know that his 35-year-old mother was dead. I'm able to pray. I'm able to hug. Because in the midst of all that, he's chosen them and he's also have found them faultless. So I'm able to lend a hand, even if it's nothing but just to rub their back. I walked in the door yesterday and a young lady grabbed me and hugged me. And she said that was my mother that passed away on Ray Street. And I was able to hug, love on her, look her dead in the face, and tell her I would be praying for her. I have some good things, a lot of good things that happen on my property. I have some people that have transitioned, that have moved on. One of the epiphanies that God gave me, and then I'm gonna sit down. It's broken into phase 1, 2, and 3. And you can get on Section 8. Then once you start growing up, start maturing, start working, start believing in yourself, you can transition to my tax credit. You can pay your rent. Now you're stable. Now you're thinking about, you know what? I can pay a little more rent because eventually in 5 years, I want to buy a house. You can move to my market. You can stay on our market property because we're all in the same place. So whoever thought about that, they probably didn't know it was a great idea. I'm sure they didn't know it was a great idea, but it was a fantastic idea to put low income. Then you move up to tax credit, then you move up to market. Great idea. If they never do this again, Eric and Mr. Cooper, we need to take this, okay? And maybe build down the future. But it was a great idea. That way, they can move up and realize they still have a purpose. They still have meaning until they're ready to make that leap and be a homeowner. That's what Cloverleaf Apartments have in the marketplace. We are mission purpose. So as I go to my seat, I'm going to say this one last little thing. It's a song that I love so much. And I'm actually going to sing it for y'all. It's got it's a 2-minute song. But I want you to pay attention to the words. The harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. There are so many jobs in God's vineyard for all of us to do. We must witness to everyone we meet and to every soul we see. We must tell the world of the soon coming King. Thank you so much for this opportunity.